and some people are demanding.
No introductions needed there to Peter O'Sullivan, local accordionist, introducing the productions here tonight at the International Bar. So we'd like to go a little step ahead now, and we would call on Clondrohid Set, who will be accompanied by Noel Lynch and Pat Toomey. We'd like to thank the Clondrohid Set dancers there for a wonderful performance. And now I'd like to call upon the man who does most of his singing in church, but I'm told he does a little bit of it in pubs as well. So I would like to call on Pat O'Connell to oblige us with a song, and I hope you will all sing along with it as we go along. So I think Pat says it's Biddy Mulligan, so away he goes.
Thank you, Donald. I'd like to see you all sing along with this one. It's a little song from Dublin. It's called Biddy Mulligan, the Pride of the Coombe. You may travel from Clare to the County Kildare, from Dublin right down to Macroom. And where will you see a fine widow like me? Biddy Mulligan, the pride of the Coombe, me boys. Biddy Mulligan, the pride of the Coombe. I'm a strap of a widow that lives in a place in Dublin, they call it the Coombe. And me fortune in Esher no king could exceed, from me palace consist of one room. Be Patrick Street corner for 35 years, I stood be me stall, that's no lie. And while I stood there was no one would there to say black was the white of me eye. Come on, everybody. You may travel from Clare to the county Kildare, from Dublin right down to Macroom. And where will you see a fine widow like me? Biddy Monaghan, the pride of the coom, me boy. Biddy Monaghan, the pride of the coom. I sell apples and oranges, nuts and split beans, bullseyes and sugar sticks sweet. And on Saturday night I sell second-hand clothes from me floor on the stall of the street. I have a son Mick and he plays on the flute. He belongs to the Dollymount band. And to do your heart good for to see him march out on a Sunday from Sandymount Strand. You may travel from Clare to the county Kildare, from Dublin right down to Macroom. And where will you see a fine widow like me? Biddy Monaghan, the pride of the coom, me boys. Biddy Monaghan, the pride of the coom. One more time, come on. You may travel from Clare to the county Kildare, from Dublin right down to Macroom. And where will you see a fine widow like me? Biddy Monaghan, the pride of the coom, me boys. Biddy Monaghan, the pride of the coom.
Thank you, Pat O'Connell. And now Helen Whedon, accompanied by Pat Toomey, for a hornpipe. Thank you, Helen. And we would now like to call on Mrs. Callahan for a song, please, if you would oblige.
At last those walls came tumbling down, alas, they stand no more. Where dwelt those noble clansmen, those gallant men of yore? Within those walls where men were born, and many met their doom, we all lament the day it went, the castle of Macroom. Renew Cheney stayed there, and Willem Penn as well. If those walls could only speak, what stories they would tell. The proud Salon flows gently by as I sit here in the gloom, and it seems to say a sad farewell to the castle of Macroom. The castle grounds are lonesome now, we miss those ancient walls. For the older generations, happy days they must recall. Many a happy hour we spent, and many a love did bloom. Many a maid was wooed and won in the castle of Macroom. And now to end my story, sad though it has been, those walls are gone forever, but their grandeur we have seen. My thoughts go back to happier days as memory fills this room. I see again in fantasy the castle of Macroom.
Thank you very much, Mrs. O'Callaghan. We would like to call now on two people who came all the way from Sligo, Kinney and Aileen Donaher. So. Would like now to call on somebody from the other side of town. Would Dick Deneen ever come up here, please, and sing a song for us?
There was a wild colonial boy, Jack Duggan was his name. He was born and reared in Ireland, in a place called Castlemaine. He was his father's only bride, his mother's love and joy, and dearly did his parents love the wild colonial boy. At the early age of 16 years he left his native home, and to Australia's sunny shore he was inclined to roam. He robbed the rich to serve the poor, that was his pride and joy, and a credit to old Ireland was the wild colonial boy. At the early age of 18 years he began his wild career. Upon a horse he knew no danger, his spirit knew no fear. He waylaid wealthy squires and all arms he did destroy, of all those who dare to combat with the wild colonial boy. One evening on the prairie now, as Jack he rode along, a-listening to the mockingbirds singing a mocking song, out sprang 3 mounted horse police, Kelly, Davis and Fitzroy. They were all set out to capture him, the wild colonial boy. Sing surrender now, Jack Duggan, sure we are 3 to 1. Surrender in the Queen's name, sure you're a plundering son. Jack drew 2 pistols from his belt and proudly waved them high. I'll fight before surrender, said the wild colonial boy. He fired 1 shot at Kelly, which brought him to the ground, and turning then to Davis he received a fatal wound. But a bullet pierced his proud young heart from the pistol of Fitzroy, and that was how they captured him, the wild colonial boy.
Okay, then, so for that, so we'll have to go on. I believe Michael Toomey has a recitation. Is he here?
Now the young ones were going to a dance, so we said that we'd try and compare with the days of our youth when we done the same. So we sat there and watched them prepare. There's no such thing now as asking permission. That isn't done anymore. But I remember when we were young, we'd be asking for 3 weeks before. After listening to all the rules and regulations till we heard them again and again, the last thing we were told before leaving the house was, be sure and be in here for 10. But now it's 10 before they start to get ready, and then the rushing will start. By the time they are finished and ready to go, they'll have every room in the house pulled apart. Then one of the girls came into the kitchen and she said, Mammy, what'll I do? Me hair wasn't washed since yesterday, and the lads have used all the shampoo. I'll soon tell you how we used to wash it, but I suppose you're too grand for that anymore. We'd get a good lump of soap and a basin of water from the tub that was outside the door. There was reason to wash that time, but things are different now. How'd they like if they were milking by hand, and their heads twice a day against the ribs of a cow? Then one of the lads, he had this yoke, he called it an electric razor. He just stuck it into the wall, he had himself shaved in a minute, and sure he used no water at all. Well, I remember the first time I shaved, there was blood all over the place. After cutting the heads of the pimples, that were dotted all over my face. And my father came into the kitchen. 'Twas the first time I heard that man using an oath. He said, "What in the hell has come over you? Is there someone after cutting your throat?" Then they started talking about this great big band that was coming to play. Big Tom was his name. He was known for music on TV and for every fame. And when they told me how much he was charging, I nearly died with the fright, but they said he was very reasonable at £1,000 for the night. 'Twas then I thought of the dances in our times, when we danced to the grand Irish tunes, with Paddy Mick playing the accordion and Mighty Sean the spoons. For the jigs and the reels and set dances, no better men could be found, and they weren't hard on the money either. They'd play all night for £1. I happened to be outside the door this evening when this long-haired gurrier drove into the yard. You'd swear 'twas on the Naas Road he was driving, or else he was chased by the guard. He was surely doing 70 coming up to the door, and he had to jam on his brakes to pull up with the elbow stuck out of the window, a real sure sign of a pup. And in our time, you'd dare dream of the like, you'd meet her about a mile away from the house and put her up in the bar of the bike. And the next morning, I thought I had a cow calving in the field at the back of the house, so I got out of bed and crept down the stairs like a mouse. When I opened the door, I never got such a surprise. There they were, the two men in the car, quartering away in front of my eyes. All I could see was the tops of their heads as they peeped at me standing in the hall, as much as to say 'twas none of my business, that I shouldn't be watching at all. Well, I never went out to see the poor cow, though in fairness I think that I should. I just went back to the room and left her calving the best way she could. When I told the wife what was going on outside in the car, I said, "Isn't the world gone to terrible pitch?" "Ah," she said, "isn't it nice to see them having their comfort? Sure, all we ever had was the ditch." To hear the likes of you talking, you think you never done the likes in your life. Will you forget what's going on outside in the car and get back into bed with your wife?
Thank you, Michael. And I'd now like to call on a very venerable gentleman, very well known for his singing all over the countryside, not alone Macroom, Mr. Connie Shannon, please.
Once in the dear the days beyond recall, when on the wall a mist began to fall, out of the dreams that rose in happy throng, lo, to our hearts love sang an old sweet song. And in the dusk, where fell the firelight gleams, softly it wove itself into a dream. Just as at twilight, when the lights are low, and the flickering shadows softly come and goes, though the heart be weary, shall the day and long, still to us at the twilight hums the love's old song. Even today we hear that song of yore. Deep in our hearts it dwells forevermore. Footsteps may falter, but weary grow the way. Still we can hear it at the close of day. And in the end, when life's dim shadows fall, love will be found the sweetest song of all. Just as how at twilight, when the lights are low, and the flickering shadows softly come and goes, though the heart be weary, sad the day and long, still to us at the twilight of the love, oh song of the love, oh sweet song.
Would now like to call on Jean McCarthy, please, if you would oblige.
Last night, all alone by the banks of the Boyne, some soldiers were calling far away. There was one soldier lad with his face pale and sad. To sweetheart his Lord he did say, for tonight is our last night together. For the dearest and nearest must part. For a soldier must roam to the end of the world, with his thoughts on his loving sweetheart. As we strolled hand in hand through the meadows, where we first fell in love, you and I, where you taught me to love you, sweet Molly, now teach me to tell you goodbye. For tonight is our last night together. For the nearest and dearest must part. For a soldier must roam to the end of the world, with his thoughts on his loving sweetheart. And perhaps I may fall in the battle. What more can a brave soldier do? And my last dying wish will be Molly, my mother, my country, and you. For tonight is our last night together. For the dearest and nearest must part, for a soldier must roam to the end of the world, with his thoughts on his loving sweetheart. Shin shin. Many fashions have come out of late. No one comes every season. One came out the other night. Sure, I can't tell the reason. No one came out the other night. The night was sad and lonely, and I went and I bought the swallowtail coat, and I called it my Taggerioni. Oh, sing Rex for lal, for lal, for lal. Sing Rex for lal, for lonely. Sing Rex for lal, for lal, for lal. And the lad with the Taggerioni. As I was walking down the street, I met the sad disaster. I bought a pair of skating boots and became a skating master. Now the night was cold and freezing hard. The lake was frozen over, and the ice it went and down. I went and I wet my Taggerioni. Oh, sing Rex for lal, for lal, for lal. Sing Rex for lal, for lonely. Sing Rex for lal, for lal, for lal. And the lad with the Taggerioni. A lady who was standing by, on me she took compassion. She said, young man, come into the fire if you want to dry your fashion. I took consent and in I went. The fire was burning slowly. As she cried, young man, stand back from the fire and don't burn your Taggerioni. Oh, sing Rex for lal, for lal, for lal. Sing Rex for lal, for lonely. Sing Rex for lal, for lal, for lal. And the lad with the Taggerioni. The night got fine, the moon shone bright. The maid and I went courting, and just outside her father's gate we heard two donkeys roaring. Her father had a little dog. They used to call him Tony. And every time I kissed the maid, he bit my Taggerioni. Oh, sing Rex for lal, for lal, for lal. Sing Rex for lal, for lonely. Sing Rex for lal, for lal, for lal. And the lad with the Taggerioni. Shin shin.
Thank you very much, Jean. So we'll stick with the Jeans. We'll go to Jean Callahan next.
In my memory I will always see the town that I have loved so well, where our school played ball against the gas yard wall, and we played neath the smoke and the smell. Going home in the rain, walking down the dark lane, past the jail and down behind the fountain. Those were happy days in so many, many ways, in the town that I love so well. In the early morning, the short factory horn called the women from Cregan, the moors and the bars, while the men on the dole played a mother's role, fed the children and then walked the dogs. But when times were rough, we had just about enough, but we saw it through without complaining, For deep inside was a burning pride for the town that I love so well. There was music there in the dairy air, like a language that we could all understand. I will not forget, for their hearts are set on tomorrow and peace once again. For what's done is done, and what's won is won, and what's lost is lost and gone forever. I can only pray for a bright and brand new day, for the town that I love so well.
We're slightly held up there for the moment, so I think Marion O'Leary is coming there with her magic accordion, so... Thank you, Marion, and I think we have a belated Thomas Croner. I don't know where he went to, but...
If you ever go across the sea to Ireland, it might be at the closing of your day. You can sit and watch the moon rise over Claddon, or see the sun go down on Galway Bay, just to hear again the ripple of the trout stream, the women in the meadows making hay, or to sit beside a turf fire in a cabin and watch the barefoot garçons at their play. There is breezes blowing o'er the seas from Ireland, their perfume by the heather as they blow. But the women in the uplands digging praties speak a language that the strangers do not know. For the strangers came and tried to teach us their ways. They scorned us for being what we are, but they might as well go chasing after moonbeams, or light a penny candle from a star. And if there's going to be a life hereafter, and somehow sure I think there's going to be, I will ask my God to let me make my heaven in that dear land across the Irish Sea.
I want to call on one particular gentleman, and it took me an awful long time to get myself into such a position that I could do so. Mr. John Lucy, please. Oh, one day as I went for a stroll on the strand, I spied this young damsel, and she did look so grand. She had jewels of finery and a fortune in gold. I swear she was a damsel of 19 years old. Well, I approached this fair damsel, and I asked her consent, and off to get married, sure the pair of us went. And after a while, sure it's home I did stroll, with my blooming young damsel of 19 years old. Oh, and after a while, sure I lay down to rest, to retire for the night with my fair maid so blessed, when a parcel of wadding from her waist she did roll. Oh, you swear she was a damsel of 19 years old. Well, she took out her false teeth and she looked bloody fine. She screwed off her right leg and she looked 29. It was out on the carpet her glass eye did roll. So she was nearer to 90 than 19 years old. Well, she took off her false wig and her bald head did shine. Then off came 3 fingers, they were held on with twine. It was down off her face, the paint and powder did roll. Holy Moses, says I, sure you're 90 years old. Now all young laddies, come take my advice. Check out all your women just once or twice. Before you'll get married, there is one thing to know. Make sure she's a damsel of 19 years old. Before we call on Nora, we would like to call on Mrs. Shannon, please. She would.
Once a little maiden climbed an old man's knee, begged for a story. Do, uncle, please. Why are you single? Why live alone? Have you no babies? Have you no home? I had a sweetheart long years ago. Where she is now, pet, you will soon know. Listen to my story, I will tell it all. I broke her heart, pet, after
after the stars had come. Many the heart is aching. If you could read them all, many the hope that has vanished. The ball. Bright lights were flashing in a grand ballroom. Softly the music played a sweet tune. There stood my sweetheart, my love, my own. I want some water, leave me alone. When I returned, pet, there stood a man, kissing my sweetheart as lovers can. Down fell the glass, pet, broken, that's all. Just like my heart was after the ball. After the ball is over, after the break of morn, after the dancers leaving, after the stars had gone, many the heart is aching. If you could read them all, many the hope that has vanished after. Long years have passed, I have never wed, true to my lost love, as if she were dead. She tried to tell me, tried to explain, but I would not listen. Pleading was vain. One day a letter came from that man. He was her brother. The letter ran, that's why I'm single. No home at all, but I broke her heart, pet, after the ball. After the ball is over, after the break of morn, after the dancers leave, after the stars had gone, many the heart is aching. If you could read them all, many the hope that is vanished after the ball.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Shannon. And now Noreen McCarthy on the tin whistle will hopefully oblige us. Now we come to the most difficult part. We have to start with the Murray family. So I think we'll start with Kate Lynch.
I've just received a letter from my home in Ireland. The scribble so familiar is my mother's feeble hand. A house that rang with music and of laughter now is still. Dear Danny, it's so lonely now among the Wicklow Hill. As I gaze across the mountain, I recall a moment's joy. The same old Wicklow mountain where you rambled as a boy. That photo of a child, that picture's by my bedside still. And each night I'll pray that you'll come back home among the Wicklow Hill. Do you remember long ago when in summer you would stroll down where the crystal fountain and the Slaney waters flow? You recall a young companion who talks about you still, and you know who she's waiting to among the Wicklow Hill. As I gaze across the mountain, I recall a moment's joy. The same old Wicklow mountain where you rambled as a boy. That photo of a child, that picture's by my bedside still. And each night I'll pray that you'll come back home among the Wicklow Hill. And each night I'll pray that you'll come back home among the Wicklow Hills.
Thank you, Kate. Well, I suppose Nora now will certainly oblige. So,
Limerick, you're my lady, you're Shannon waters, tears of joy that flow. The beauty that surrounds you, I'll take it with me, love, where'er I go. While waking in the arms of distant waters, and new day finds me far away from home, then Limerick, you're my lady, the one true love that I have ever known. As children, you and I spent endless hours of fun in winter snow and summer's burning sun. We fished in silver streams, the fabric of my dreams was fashioned by your loveliness, and so I have to say, Limerick, you're my lady, you're Shannon waters, tears of joy that flow. The beauty that surrounds you, I'll take it with me, love, where'er I go. While waking in the arms of distant waters, and new day finds me far away from home, then Limerick, you're my lady, the one true love that I have ever known. A gift that time has made to travelers on their way, seeking out the beauty of our land. A shrine where children play and bells ring out to say, thank God we're living just to see the beauty of each day. Limnock, Stumas Fairvan, an Shanna Vairach Shilla Jora Queen, Leshan Island. Emma Himpa, Herma Hashtel Dam Shafanen to him cree. Nora Gusham, Ermadens may go huignock. His Lord of Raka Rome secure. Then Limerick, you're my lady, the one true love that I have ever known.
Thank you, Dora. Tom O'Reilly is next on the list. Could we have Tom O'Reilly, please? Tom is coming in great haste.
I'm Jake the pike, diddle-diddle-diddle-um, with my extra leg, diddle-diddle-diddle-um. Wherever I go, through rain or snow, the people always let me know there's Jake the pike, diddle-diddle-diddle-um. The day that I was born, sure the boss he nearly died. He couldn't put me nappies on no matter how he tried. For I was born with an extra leg, and since that day begun, I've learned to walk on my own 3 feet. Believe me, that's no fun. I'm Jake the pig, diddle-diddle-diddle-um, with my extra leg, diddle-diddle-diddle-um. Wherever I go, through rain or snow, the people always let me know there's Jake the pig, diddle-diddle-diddle-um. I had a dreadful childhood, I suppose I shouldn't moan. When it came the time for 3-legged race, sure I won it on me own. And I was also very popular when it came the time for cricket. They used to rise me trousers up and use me for the wicket. I'm Jake the pig, diddle-diddle-diddle-um, with my extra leg, diddle-diddle-diddle-um. Wherever I go, through rain or snow, the people always let me know there's Jake the pig, diddle-diddle-diddle-um. I was a dreadful scholar, I found all the lessons hard. The only thing I knew for sure was that 3 feet made a yard. To count to 10, I used my fingers, and if I wanted more, by taking off my shoes and socks, I could count to 24, 25. I'm Jake the pig, diddle-diddle-diddle-um, with my extra leg, diddle-diddle-diddle-um. Wherever I go, through rain or snow, the people always let me know there's Jake the pig, diddle-diddle-diddle-um, with his extra leg, diddle-diddle-diddle-um.
I suppose since we've had all the Murrays, we'll have to call on Boss Murray.
I'll put it like this. I'll start. I'll say, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Before I start, I'd like to thank everybody that came tonight and that was instrumental in making what I think, maybe I'm wrong, a terrible, successful night. I sincerely thank boys, girls, gentlemen, and ladies. Ladies and gentlemen should be the last beside them. That's my sincere thanks, because everybody was exceptionally well behaved. Put that there. I owe ye a lot over the past few years, because everybody that's here tonight has been here with a good long time since we opened. Nearly everybody, I'll say everybody. Now, I'll finish by saying I again thank everybody that is here sincerely, and that's the best. I wish you the best of luck. Now, that's another. We finished there now, but I must start with another point. I'm going to sing a song, and when you're past the 60 touch, you're on the, like Bill Mack says, you're on the downhill road. So we're not like, we can still take them on like. No, lads. Here we go, lads. I'm a long ways from home, and my thoughts ever roam to all there and far over the sea. But my heart, it is there, where the skies are so fair, and old Ireland is calling for me. Oh, I want to go back to that tumble-down shack, where the wild roses bloom round the door, just to pillow my head on that old trundle bed, just to see my old mother once more. There's a bright gleaming light guiding me home tonight, down that long road of white cobblestone, down that road that leads back to my tumble-down shack, to my tumble-down shack in Athlone. There are eyes that are sad as they watch for a lad in that old-fashioned town of Athlone. And I pray for that day when I'm sailing away to old Ireland and mother my own. All together, lads. Oh, I want to go back to that tumble-down shack, where the wild roses bloom round the door, just to pillow my head on that old trundle bed, just to see my old mother once more. There's a bright gleaming light guiding me home tonight, down that long road of white cobblestone, down that road that leads back to my tumble-down shack, to my tumble-down shack in Athlone. Your legs. Hello. Before I finish now, lads, the team is, there's a woman behind the man. Well, now, it's the story. Someone asked me tonight, and they said, where did Nora get to sing, and where did Kate get to sing? And I'll tell you the truth, I said, it's definitely not from their mother. But that's beside the point. Here we go. A group of young soldiers, one night in a camp, were talking of sweethearts they had. Now all would be glad, but for one Irish lad, who was very downhearted and sad. I say, won't you join us, says one of the boys. Surely you love someone too. Oh, he lifted his head and slowly he said, yes, I'm in love with two. One had hair of silvery grey, and the other has hair of gold. One was young and beautiful, the other was grand and old. Those are the two that were dear to me. From them I never will part. For one was my mother, God rest her, I loved her, and the other was my sweetheart. Now my sweetheart was only a poor working girl, to who I was bound to be wed. But my father said, no, this just cannot be so. You must marry a lady instead. All together, lads. One had hair of silvery grey, and the other has hair of gold. One was young and beautiful, and the other was bent and old. Those were the two that were dear to me. From them I never will part. For one was my mother, God rest her, I loved her, and the other was my sweetheart. Get down there, oh, that's okay, get down there. No, lads, excuse me 2 minutes. In case I omit anybody now, I must start off to thank, as I had said before, seriously now, like 11 years old, the man on the television. I think he wants the greatest credit of all. And I hope that they're left on the air, in spite of all our politicians. Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, the Progressive Democrats, every one of them. I hope they let the likes of him on the air, because he speaks for a small man's group. Now, lads, we'll go across the sea now and I'll finish it. Now, there's another fella here, and he's a bit of a character, and I didn't include him, but I don't know whether I should or not. Donald Lucy. Yeah. He shakes his head at it. Now, if I am letting out somebody, I'm terribly sorry, but I again thank you. I'm going to finish with a small little song. It's a lullaby when I learned from my mother when I was a baby. Bright wings that never grow weary, they carry me cheerily over the sea. Bright wings, I long for you, dearie. I'll spread out my white wings and I'll sail home to you. High up where the hills they are craggy, it's there where the girl of my heart waits for me. I-ho, I long for you, dearie. I'll spread out my white wings and I'll sail home to you. Sail home as straight as the arrow, my yacht shoots along on the crest of the sea. Sail home to sweet Maggie Arrow, in her dear little home she lays waiting for me. So it's high up where the hills they are craggy, it's there where the girl of my heart waits for me. I long for you, dearie. I'll just spread out my white wings and I'll sail home to you. Thank you.